It's finally happened, everybody. The ZTE Zmax has been rooted. What's up, everybody? It's Cody, and today I'm going to show you how to root your Zmax. Alright, everybody, so if you guys remember, several months ago I released a video which should be up there for the Zmax unboxing, or not unboxing, but it was more of the review video and everything, and I was showcasing everything, including all the little smartassery and all that kind of good stuff that came with it. But anyway, the last several months have gone by, and lots of people have been tirelessly trying to find a way to break through the firmware, all that kind of good stuff with the operating system on a Zmax. Because for whatever reason ZTE decided to make that stuff a nightmare, which a lot of people agree that Android is supposed to be able to root easily. And incidentally, this is the first phone I've ever had where I could actually root it. I've had the i1, I've had the Prevail, I've had the Hydro, the original Hydro. I've had... What else have I had? I've had several Androids over the years. Anyway, to date, this is by far the best one I've ever had, but this is the very first time I was able to get one rooted, but I did not do it manually. I had to actually do a software, which we'll get to in just a minute. It's a very time-consuming process if you're not lucky. I mean, to have the program installed in this phone that allowed it to do so, I believe it upgraded my firmware and everything for me to where I didn't have to do anything. So that's fantastic. Now, before we begin, I'd recommend very highly that you get a couple of programs. Now, just to show that mine is rooted, I have, it's not going to show very well on camera, but I have the Greenify app, which is a root access required app. Sorry, I'm having problems sleeping lately and I'm tired as hell. But anyway, you're going to need that as a test. Anyway, you should have an app like that anyway for battery life increasing and everything else. And I've just recently got this, like within the last 24 hours. I was on my way to work when I finally was able to finish rooting it, and yeah, we'll cover it in a second. Anyway, you're going to want CPU Z or CPU Z, however you want to pronounce it. People over the pond in England and whatnot, they'll call it CPU Z. So in the event I'm speaking to any of our English-speaking brethren, what's going on, everybody? Anyway, CPU Z, just like it is on PC, it will tell you everything like your processor, your memory speed, your clock cycles on the processors, who makes your GPU, CPU, all that kind of good stuff. And as you can see, mine is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. There we go. Okay, so it says I have 4 cores, I have a 4X ARM Cortex processor, blah 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 blah. But that's not what's important. We're going to go over to System just to confirm that I am rooted. You will see where it says model, blah 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 blah. And then when you scroll down, come on. Right. God, it's like a monkey operating this thing. Anyway, it'll say at the very bottom underneath available storage, it'll say root access, yes or no. If it says yes, then you're good. If no, then you need to, well, in your case, you would say no because you haven't rooted yet. But anyway, with this app, you'll see root access. It'll tell you what your sensors and everything are saying, which is great. So yeah, definitely, even if you don't root, this is a good app to have, but it's more to test to make sure that you are rooted. So anyway, what we're gonna do is what needs to be done rather is you need to make sure everything in your Zmax is disabled. Like, go and hit your button where you have all your side, the background processes, and just close every one of those. You want to make sure all your browsers are shut off, every single tab is closed. You want as much stuff turned off as you possibly can to make this as stable as possible, because you are going to be here a while. Now, some of the programs you are going to need are, let's see, what did I need? Okay, you're going to want to get King Root and you want to get King User. King Root, first of all, it's going to be in a language, unless you are from another part of the world, you are not going to understand it. So, yeah. Okay, so let's see. It says I'm rooted, so okay. So first thing you need to do definitely is get your King Root, and then King User will pop up and blah blah blah. So we'll cover that as soon as we get to that bridge. So what we're gonna do is whoop-pow! All right. So as you can see, there is my screen. Again, we have CPU Z, and maybe this time there it says root access. Yes. Now the King Root, when I clicked it a second ago, it did give me a weird thing, but I am rooted as far as I'm aware. But when you open up the program, hold on, let me try to get this working properly. Okay, when you click on King Root, you'll get something like that, and it will pop up and verify your root status. It's gonna say for whatever reason mine's unavailable, but mine is available, because as you read with CPU Z, it did say I was good. Now this program has only so far got 3,500, come on, 3,591 people. Yeah, so if you click on root, you'll get something like this to start happening, and it will tell you right at the bottom, please don't worry if your device reboots. I had to click this no less than 15-20 times before I was able to get it rooted, and this is a long process, but it should be working just fine. And yeah, so anyway, since I've already done mine and it is rooted, I don't have to go through that process again if I'm not mistaken. But at any rate, your phone may or may not restart, and if it messes up on you, all you gotta do is like mine just did, if it does what it just did, don't worry, it's not gonna kill anything. It's not gonna cause your phone to explodulate and like kill you and make you cry and scream, all that kind of good stuff. You just have to wait until it reboots, and you should be totally fine. But this is actually good that this happened on screen, because then I can actually show you what you're supposed to do if your root attempt fails. We're just gonna have to be patient, and if it doesn't actually reboot on its own here, I'm gonna have to push and hold the power button and get it to restart. But we're gonna see if I don't have to do that, because that'd be super, because I don't feel like sitting here and taking up any more of your time than necessary. Good, there we go. Awesome. Android process media stop, blah blah blah. Go into settings, and if yours, let's see if it jeopardized mine. Okay, now there you go. Now it's gonna say I'm no longer rooted, so I have unrooted my phone, but it still says I'm running the current level KitKat, so 4.4.4. So I inadvertently actually changed my firmware, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think this came with 4.4. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and go through the honest-to-God version of this. And so we're going to go ahead and attempt to do this correctly. And what time this is happening, it's a very good recommendation for you to get something called twerp, which would allow you to make a flash recovery. That way you can save the version of your OS or whatever. Like, I haven't fully done too much research on it, because I didn't want to get that far ahead until I knew that I could safely root my device. So that is why I have not used twerp yet, but I will as soon as I get everything stable. But until then, this is all you gotta do. Now, like I said, this could take many tries. Like, I've saw one person say it took him 35-40 tries. It took me about 15-20 times the first time I did it. And like everybody knows, the Zmax is very, and you're going to want to install anyway on King User. This phone is very finicky when it comes to rooting, from everything I've read. So this is one of those battle of attrition. Can you stand having this phone and not root it, or do you have the patience for it? And there you go. Mine just rooted successfully. There you go. Let's see. Purify system, auto start manager, remove apps. I've got everything installed, and yeah, so as you saw, I've just rooted this phone on camera, so no one can say I haven't done it. I don't want to give you guys bad information. Let's see, I'm gonna have to close out CPU-Z. It's probably a good idea for you to get a hold of a super user app as well, which is originally what I was going to try to use on this, but it didn't work very well because at the time super user didn't actually have any of the required things. So let's see, save battery capacity, blah 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 blah. Okay, there we go. So we have a successfully rooted device, and that's pretty much all it takes. So like I said, get super user, get CPU-Z, you get your go on any list out there that says the best not jailbroke, but best rooted apps. You'll see a bunch of them for downclocking your processor. That way you can increase your speed if you need to, and decrease it if you don't need it to, if you want to make your phone last longer. Like I told you guys before in the original video, I use this thing for Pandora, GPS, and very seldomly make phone calls. I usually check bank account stuff and everything in this phone, so I don't need its full speed at all times. So why would I use my full speed if I don't have to? I've got a computer next to me nearly all the time, so there you go. So yeah, make sure you get all the apps you need. If you want to free up your memory, be sure, if you're using T-Mobile, I'm sure you got shovelware and all that kind of stuff on there. So yeah, that's all you gotta do. And now we're gonna go back to FaceTime and we will wrap this up. Okay, so the root process isn't as bad as it would be in some cases for phones like these, and I'm very glad for that, because like I said in the video that I did for the phone, which I posted like half a year ago, still stands. This is probably one of the best phones I have ever had in my possession, ever used for any real length of time. Almost never sticks up on me. It pretty much never screws up on me at all. Now, the only complaints I have is that the Bluetooth headset that I got, I have to have my phone in my front pocket if I'm going to use my headset, but that's mostly because it's a cheap little bitty tiny ass little LG thing. It's not even LG, it's a little knockoff headset thing. So if it was actually a real name brand one, it probably wouldn't be a problem. But anyway, like I said, this phone was awesome. All it needed was a root access, which ZTE, I have no idea why you made a phone this long living before someone could root it. Like I'm sure somebody was able to root this thing almost day one, but they weren't out there telling anybody. Like all the sources I had, I could not find anyone out there that had knowledge on how to root a Zmax. And like I said, we are now with the Galaxy S6, the iPhone 6, the iBoomerang Plus, you know, all that kind of good stuff. And now this phone's life has just been significantly improved because we have a root access. And if you have a phone, you owe it to yourself to be able to root it. If it's an Android, you should definitely root it. I mean, you're not going to kill your phone, you're not going to break it, you're not going to do any real damage to it. The worst thing you have to do is reset it, like do a factory reset, and that will completely clean it. So yeah, all you need to do is make sure that you have your TWRP, which is supposed to be a recovery kind of deal, so you can make a new ROM and everything to where you can flash on here. It's basically what you want to do if you need it if you're going to flash a new ROM onto your phone. Like if you want to install like anything beyond KitKat, you can put Honeycomb, you can put Eclair, you can put Froyo, you can put Donut. I have no idea why you'd want to downgrade in Android operation systems, but you totally could if you did flash the ROM, but make sure that you don't do that because that'd be freaking weird. Anyway, so without further ado, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you for checking out this video, and if it helped, give me a like, and if it didn't help, leave a comment and dislike it and tell me where I screwed up. If you want to leave a comment anyway, you will. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys probably in one of the next Let's Plays I do. Got some buddies of mine wanting to do a live stream for Diablo 3, so I will make sure to make a video saying when that's all going to start going down. So yeah, I will see you guys then. You guys have a good one. I'll see you next.